Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's XAUUSD Securities webinar. Tonight's webinar is Forex Trading Live Market Analysis. Now, coming up for me this week, tomorrow I'll be going through a webinar on bringing it all together, how to identify high probability trading levels for the trading day. And I'll be doing that today, but I'll be showing you exactly how I do it step by step in the breakdown of the technique. And then on Thursday, more live analysis. All my webinars this week are at 7 p.m. Sydney time. Just head over to the webinar page to register your interest if you want to come and join me. And before we get into it, if you can all read through the disclaimer, if you're on YouTube live stream, I cannot see your chat, but you can watch or join us in the webinar and then you can talk to me. For those in the webinar, you can use the webinar chat box or the Q&A box to talk to me. I'll see them coming in. All right, just take a moment or two to read through the disclaimer before we move along. All right, now if you don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm a Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor at DXY Securities. I'm a full-time trader, been trading now for more than 15 years in the Forex market, mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email's there, duncan.cooper@acy.com. Through the week, you can connect with us at the website, acy.com, go to the Market News tab or our YouTube channel at ACY Securities Australia. And if you want to connect with me personally, just head over to my Linktree page. You'll get all my links there. If you want to get access to my charts, layouts, and templates for MT4, just contact Nathan.bray. I'll put his details in the chat now for you. There we go. All right, let's get into what news is coming up for this week. After the FOMC statement last week and the US job figures, US dollar definitely declined, but may have come to the bottom or to the tops on pairs to the US dollar. We'll wait and see. All right, so today we've had the cash rate for the Aussie. No change there. I think the RBA was a little bit undecided as to whether we need to raise interest rates or not at some point. We'll have to wait and see on the data. So coming up, bit of a holiday period here. Not much coming in. Holiday from France tomorrow. More French and German holidays in Thursday. So one for the pound, 9 p.m. Thursday, we have the interest rate decision statement, etc., between 9 and 9:30. Not expecting any change. They may be well looking at the votes to see if more people are voting towards maybe cutting at some point or moving away from cutting. We'll have to wait and see. Then at 10:30 p.m. for the US unemployment claim figures. In the middle of the morning, US 30-year bond auction. 4 p.m. Friday afternoon, we've got the GDP month-to-month, prelim GDP QQ for the UK GDP. And then into the evening at 10:30 p.m. for Canada, we've got the employment change and unemployment rate. And getting into midnight Saturday, prelim UOM consumer center for the US. So not too much on the US front there this week. So we might see a pullback on pairs to the US dollar. I'm sure the pound will be focused on the interest rate decision there, but a bit less news, maybe less volatile this week. Let's wait and see what comes around. All right, so what we are seeing on the dollar index is, this is actually a weekly range. It's across the last higher top bottom here on the weekly, high bottom to a top. And we pull back to this old top and 79% level. So we pull back to this old top Friday on the massive run down, starting to maybe form a bit of a bottom in here. Came back to complete the imbalance here, and that's what's been happening on the pairs to US dollar moving up, be filling all the imbalances that were formed on this dollar move up. So I'm anticipating that we may have bottomed here. We're going to be coming back up this way. S&P 500 has been moving up. It has been putting out higher tops and bottoms from this decline. Actually declined on the weekly scale, a bit short of the 62. I'm not yet sure as to whether we finish this overall decline. We may come up. So we haven't come back to the major level of support, this old historical high point here. From a technical perspective, that would be great if we actually did come back to that area. So this may come up to put in a lower top to complete down here. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, yes, it could be simply down, carrying up and through, but wasn't a massive technical level there that we pulled back to. So day chart, though, it is high tops and bottoms, but it is worth just monitoring. I'm a little bit unsure at the moment. The US dollar is going to start moving back up. Maybe the market's not anticipating an interest rate cut too soon. Then there may be a bit more downtime on the stock market. So I would be actually monitoring this range to see what happens when we get to the 79% level up here at 52.05. Do we actually top out up here? It's going to do one of two things. It's going to come up, then have a pullback to put in another higher bottom to continue up, or it's going to come up to here and then completely reverse. So if the market's not anticipating an interest rate cut, you would think that would be a little bit more bearish for a bit more of an extended period of time. So we'll have to wait and see. But you may be much more bullish, and maybe you're just waiting for the next pullback. So if you're more bullish, I just want to see what happens up there at 52.5 area. But if you're more bullish and you're not concerned about that, then you really want to be monitoring the most immediate up range, waiting for a pullback to the 62.79% area for the next higher bottom to come in for the next continued advance, okay? All right, so it does depend on what your own in-person impression of the market is at the moment. All right, euro dollar to the daily. So this is last month's range. A bit like the dollar index, this has come up in reverse though to fill this imbalance candle here. Didn't come all the way up, but it did get stopped at daily old support 1 and 2 here. We're on 107.95 up to 108.01. So pretty much failed at the figure. And you can see the last two candles, Friday and into Monday. Any upward movement from where we're at right now has been rejected. So we could have actually finished up here, and we may be getting set to start to move back down. I'm anticipating that maybe that's the move down, last month's move. This is just correcting back up with inside last month to come down like so. Now, of course, it's all going to be kind of data dependent. If we keep getting maybe some more US dollar news that's negative, then that's not going to happen. But maybe the negative news we've been having has just been helping this corrective phase back up here. Got to be a little bit short of the 79% level. So I'm actually looking for a turnaround, and for our chart has started to move down. Now, what I would like to see is it's a bit of a mini support area, a bit of a support area in here. I'd like to see this move down, and then through the week I can look for a rally and look to sell a rally. Okay, at the moment it's been on a bit of support there. Now, of course, if you're more bullish than what I am, then this support area could be where you're maybe looking to be a buyer. So it's going to drop to the 15-minute. That's a lot. I just want to put a fib on the last lower top there, so I know where it is. So I'm going down with that 4-hour downtrend that's starting to develop. All right, I know what top it is. Now, if you're more bullish at the moment, from over here, Okay. You should be looking for this area to hold a support. Can you see your setup to get long, to further, trade up to 10800? Now, for me personally, if it got up to 10800, that would be a great area to watch for a reversal back down. Or, if you're more bullish, you want that area to break. But if it got up to there, I want that area to hold to offer the opportunity to trade down with the bigger dominant trends. So I'm actually waiting to see if this area of support breaks so that I can draw my fib down and look then, for some form of rally that I can sell at a 6279% area. I don't have that at the moment, so I'm just on the sidelines. But after that big rush up Friday, if we review what happened yesterday, that was a rush up Friday, dropped 62% retracement there. So I'm thinking this is going to be moving down. It's going to have some form of rally at some point this week, and I'm going to look to sell that rally. Now, whether or not that comes around, but I'm just waiting to see if price starts to develop that price action. I can get rid of my drawings at the moment. All right, so I'm waiting for a bit more of a drop and then a rally. Euro yen. Now, these yen pairs are a bit they have turned to bullish over the last few trading days. I actually got along the euro yen on Friday, got out today with a 200 pip move. It's a bit difficult with last week. If we go to the weekly chart, we had this. Let me just get rid of that fib. We had a massive reversal on the weekly chart. Didn't actually change the trend on the weekly chart. But when you see a massive candle like that from a major monthly area, is that signaling a longer term decline over the long term? Doesn't have to. It could just be a sell-off from that level back down to support, because it came back down to monthly support here, 164.29, which is a weekly higher here. All right, sat there, and then that's why I got long on Friday. I had a 100 pip stop on it, and then got out with a 200 pip target today. I thought that's enough. I want to wait and see if this is maybe going to rally back up now and then maybe fail later in the week. That could be the bottom for a long-term push above 169.95, and I'll kick myself if it is. But day trend, it has it's a bit difficult to see the swings here, but there was a move down. There's a rally, a move down. So really the rally range is from that high to there, maybe at the moment, or it could be from the final high to that low, the weekly range. It's a little bit difficult to fully ascertain where the market may want to. If it's still going to be in a bearish mode, how high is this going to move up? So it could actually, from last week's high to low, it could operate within that range. So it's worth having that fib in to the side, or it could offer this range here from that high to low. So I'm just waiting to see which way, how high can we get up? All right. We're at the halfway point of the move down, say Thursday and Friday there, whatever day it was in any event. All right. And there's actually even a smaller range in here. So it is a little bit difficult. I'd go with a bigger range of that one, or the actual range. This would be great if it got up to this area. If we got back up, we came up. So I got long down here. I actually took it off here for a 1 to 2 trade. And this is still holding to a 4-hour uptrend now. It's higher bottom, higher top. So depending on what your thoughts are, you could have looked for a little 79% dip in this range here to get long today. I'm just going to look to see if we can come up to here now, or within the 79 to 100 of that range, which overlaps with the 62 over here. I'm going to see what happens up there. in the week? Does it start to fail once more? Because there's a nasty imbalance in here that maybe needs to be filled. There's also one over here too. It's like we could come up to the 79% level. The question is, after the two kind of interventions last week, will we get any more intervention this week? That's the concern. That's why I got out of my long position from down here, because I didn't want to be in a nice profit and then intervention comes and I lose it. So I've managed to make a nice little run up there. Then the question will be, are we going to see more intervention? So I'm going to watch up here for maybe a reversal down this week. Now, high bottom, higher top, already, so that range is this range here. Too late to get in because it hits the 79% level in the central pivot. This was the area you should have looked to get long, and now we've run up. So you could rewatch that area if you wanted to later in the day if it comes down. Other than that, I don't see anything to do there right now because what's your setup? All right. Seeing this hold here was a setup to get long if you want to get long today. You already missed that boat. All right, so intraday at the moment, it's bullish, but from last week's decline, is it going to come up to somewhere where we can maybe sell through the week? So watching on the 4-hour chart in this area at the moment, 167.66 to 168.65. Euro pound, not the most attractive, but as I was saying last week, it looks like it's run up. This is my daily pull back to here. And now it's on its upward march. And it's a bit choppy in here, but if you get down to the 4-hour chart, you know, are we coming up this way? Getting to the 4-hour chart. Keep dragging the fib up on the upward move and then look for a pullback within the 62.79% area in line with what is a very choppy, but it is holding a bullish nature that way. Of course, if the pound comes out with interest rate information that's negative pound, that will probably go up in line with that trend as well. So we'll be looking for pull back to the 62.79% area down here if I want to trade that pair. All right, pound dollar. Similar to the euro dollar, that's last month's move down. We came to the 79% level. Feel the imbalance in here. All right. This is what I'm looking at. We've moved down. Have we completed the rally to see 123 tested to move down? That's the weekly trend I'm mapping out there. All right, so at the moment, it's just sticking at this area of support resistance. So you really want to see 125.39 break. Some other areas here that you'd obviously want to see break. So I wouldn't want to be trading into those points, but of course, to move down, we need to move through those points. So the 4-hour, like on the euro, it's just starting to break down the lower tops. There's a bit of a minor bottom there. So I would watch this little range here. Whatever range forms here, draw the fib across it. And look to sell a rally within that range. All right, now what we might see through the day is just deciding, can it move below that 125.39 level? May see through the day that we suddenly let go here to drop, but it doesn't. It doesn't come up maybe to the 62.79% area here. That would be nice for the central pivot point, 79% area, to move down. If that doesn't happen, if that can't occur, then we may well just see that drop, and then you might be able to sell a rally underneath that level. All right, at the moment, it's deciding if it is wanting to form that as resistance at the moment. So I would be more inclined at the moment just to wait for this area if it could get up, or do nothing at the moment. Did give you an opportunity yesterday after that rush up Friday and then the drop. If you just monitor this 62.79% area, it started to stall at 62 level here and it's been moving down since. Of course, we can't go back to that, but it's always worth understanding why it failed there yesterday. All right. Pound yen. So with these yen pairs, structurally, like I said on the euro yen, the big move on the weekly chart last week hasn't structurally changed the trend here. It's like a 79% retracement of the weekly range. All right, there's a 79% level. 195.881. Now we could be getting all bullish to go all the way back up this way. That all depends on what side of the fence you're on. I don't like the massive rejection of last week, so I'm a little bit, I'll need to see some more evidence that we're getting bullish. Like this area here at 193.52, do we see through the week maybe a bit more of a move up, and then does that become support to come up higher? If we do come up higher, this area here at 195.88 is a major monthly high, which we obviously false broke last week, this high here. If we come back up to that level this week or next week and we start to not be able to want to get above it, can't close above it on a day chart, then we could be failing there for a major reversal and a major high. So market can be bullish or bearish at the moment, depending on what it wants to do. I think we just have to be a little bit mindful of what happened last week, because we could see another good one or two legs down again this week if the market really wants to get back in sell mode. So it's not the easiest at the moment trading these yen pairs. All right, for our chart, it's actually just structurally broken the 4-hour trend back to down here, but it is sitting above that 193.52 level. So it's difficult. If we're looking to the downside, you'd have to monitor the ranges of last week. Same as I was doing on the euro yen. There's a range. That's the whole range of last week. Then there's a smaller range here. And look at the focal point. So that 195.88 lines up the 79% level of that range. So that would be ideal if we came to there and started to want to hold. And sometimes with these pairs, it's a question of where's the best area to look? And then will we actually get to the best area this week? All right, I don't know if we will or we won't. All right, so that's what I'll be looking up there. And of course, if this starts to get a little bit more bullish here, you might see this getting support here to move up. All right, going to be similar commentary on the Aussie yen, in that we have to the daily, weekly, well, to the monthly. We false broke a major monthly top. Monthly structure is still up. Weekly structure is still up, but we have that massive reversal candle. Came into a whole bunch of day chart highs here. 1, 2, 3, held. So let's get some support in this area. So you don't want to be selling into that area. If we are going to be holding the downtrend, or a downtrend starting to form from here, actually on the day chart here at the moment, the trend on all time frames is still up, because we have a higher top, higher bottom on the daily. So potentially you could have been getting long Monday on the break of that candle. Could be risk-free now to see whether this is continuing up All right. I would be watching, like I've been looking at the other pairs, is do we get more downside potential this week from last week? So monitoring the weekly range last week, which is there. Monitoring that range, well, it's a bit different on the structure on the fire chart on this pair because we didn't put a final bottom in here, it became a higher bottom, but it is still at the moment operating within that range from high to low, so it is still valid to draw it from there to there. And 79% level, so from the interest rate decision today, we fill the imbalance in here. 79% level, there is the possibility that we have actually seen some minor swings here. So we've actually gone, get my drawing tool. We've gone up, down, minor swing there to there, and we have broken that little area there. So we could be filling at this 79% level of this range. And then we could monitor a little rally back up like so to start head down that way. I'd much prefer to see price come up to here because it's just a much stronger area. And we've got lots of little ranges in here that I much prefer to focus on the bigger things, but price doesn't always give me what I'm looking for. It can be already turning here, so you have to make a decision yourself. You could be simply needing to now, after sell off from the interest rate decision, simply monitoring that move down, looking for this to then come back up, an opportunity to sell up here. Might want to come in to fill the imbalance in here that got formed as well. So that would get you into the 79% zone up there if we want to get up to fill that area. All right, so not the easiest at the moment, Aussie yen. Like it's looking a little bit intraday negative at the moment, especially if the Aussie keeps on moving down, which has been getting back below 66. So monitor to see if we can come higher up. Aussie dollar. All right, so the daily chart. Daily chart tells you everything. Since January, this whole area here, in general terms, this kind of area here, or I'm just drawing roughly across these tops and these two lows here. That's the sell zone. You see, when it's been moving into the area, it's been turning back around. Now we've actually come up from a lower point. So we're getting a weekly chart kind of double, triple top area at the moment. So if we go to the weekly chart, well, there's a double top. It's more triple top on the daily. So there's another top for triple, 1, 2, 3. So I'm expecting, or anticipating that we're double topping up here. All right, to move down. If it's a true double top, we will see the height of the pattern moving below, which the double top pattern price projection is all the way down there at 60.79, which seems a long way away and impossible maybe at the moment after we've had this massive rush up, but we'll have to wait and see what the market data brings. That would actually take us below last year's low. So the 127 extension comes in just before then. But if this is going to be a double top pattern, I like to get in by the 79% level. So then you've got plenty of room to move down, plenty of time to make a great risk reward if the double top price rejection is going to get met over a period of time. So entries at the moment, just from this day chart, break of that inside candle was the entry. Stop above the high. Price may well come back to that to that price point, so you could sell there if you really wanted to, stop above the high. Or you could be looking at the opportunity for maybe a rally to occur on the 4-hour. 4-hour kind of trends turned down here at the moment. The minor swings we've been seeing came down to that point. It's got a little bit messy in here. Then it's down. So then you want to look to sell a 79% rally, some form of rally up here. If it'll offer that, sometimes it doesn't give you that rally. Actually up here, if you were game enough ahead of the interest rate decision, was the best place to sell. So on your 15-minute chart, monitor this decline. Wherever the low comes in, that's where you put the bottom of the fib, and look to the 79% level wherever that comes in. All right. So at the moment, that's at 66.30. So if I just assume that is an intraday low, this area up here, assuming you can get up there, as well as 62% level with the central pivot point at 66.21 could be a good level. That's assuming we can get above 66. Now, if we don't get above 66 today, and let's say we go down another 30, 40 pips today, tomorrow, watch a rally to come up, maybe the high of the day to form at 66, okay? At the moment, it's just asking itself, can it get back above 66 for another rally? So what it's done at the moment, this decline has come down to fill the imbalance that got formed on this candle here on Friday. Right, it's not, see where it stopped? It's not any, no stretch of the imagination why that stopped there. It's the start of where the imbalance started. All right, so we may now come up to fill this imbalance before we can move down further here. So watch that imbalance to get filled. That's what's left of it. There's a bit more in that candle there too, just there. Next door's candle in there. All right. And in fact, there's a little bit of imbalance there too. So that 79% level would be perfect if it got up there. Okay, getting into the New Zealand yen. Same story last week. Massive reversal. Doesn't change the structure of the trend is up because that's a higher top. Did folks break major monthly top? So all these yen pairs have folks broken in some form a major monthly top. Is that going to be the same with the dollar yen as well? The impetus to see a major reversal, or was last week just it? That's the difficulty at the moment. All right, the day chart trend is still up as well, because that's higher top, higher bottom. That's a 79% retracement. So if you're more bullish than bearish with last week's reversal, you should have been getting long down here. At least now, if you're long in that area, because I got long Friday on the dollar, on the euro yen, I could have held my position because I got pretty much long close to the bottom of the day. There's no way an intervention is going to bother me because it'll be 200 pips up at the moment, break even. So, but I didn't want to lose my 200 pips. But if you're more bullish, you could be holding your position and waiting to see if we can move through the resistance area. So now, if you're more bearish because of last week's reversal, just the 4-hour chart, again, monitor the weekly range reversal. There's the weekly range to downside. And the other range that got formed from this drop here. So we're at the 79% area of that range. And not as clean as some of the other yen pairs in terms of levels. If I wanted to get short, I think I would look at the monthly level. So the monthly level is 94.04. So that's this level here. So I would look at that level There's no fib at that level. It's just the monthly level got massively rejected last week. So I would look at that monthly level and the 79% level there. 94.04 to 94.39 area I would look at to the sell side. You've already missed about the best area to get long would have been on Friday down here at the 79% level of that range. But that's already gone. So now we're kind of in the middle of the range. I don't like this small range here, but yes, that range could hold. So sometimes, as I said before, I like to look at the bigger levels. Don't know whether we can get to the bigger levels this week. We'll have to wait and see. Sometimes just patience on some pairs to wait and see how they're going to, what's going to happen this week. Are we going to continue up all week this week, reclaiming the losses last week, or are we going to hit a level, hold, and start the next leg down? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if we can start to see a clue to that downside again. New Zealand dollar. All right, last week, Tuesday and Thursday, I said watch up here. Didn't look like it was going to get there, but it got there on Friday. And from the weekly chart perspective, it's really just, if this is what's running out, it's moved down. So the 79% retracement back to weekly old support becoming resistance. Are we putting in that weekly pattern? So gave you an opportunity Friday and then Monday to get short at or very close to 79% level. 1 or 2 pips short yesterday. May still come up for a further touch. So little area, little kind of, I know this is not textbook, but kind of a head and shoulderish look about it there. All right. All this putting on the brakes here is all this old support in this area is being the resistance here. So if you can get short close to that area, that is the go. Maybe you can hold it for a move down to last year's low. And the 127 extension, that's 57.89. All right, so let's drop down. Good monitor this little range. Can you get in? There's 2 79% levels there. 60.32, 60.35. It's the same area that I was talking about last week. So, of course, this can break through there, but the weekly trend is down. Weekly trend is down until we take out this high over here. So, we've really come down. Just want to draw a few things in. Come down. Rally to the 79, okay? And within this move, there's been an upward move, pull back, and then a move up like that. If you go on Google search, get the Gartley pattern, that's looks like very much like a Gartley pattern to me. So we could well have a Gartley pattern of some form or fashion, completing there. And of that upward movement here, there should be an extension that overlaps with the 79% level. It's not a perfect. Usually the 79%, the 127 gets to the 79% level, which it doesn't, but hopefully you can see there we've had an upward move, a pullback. That's in the profit taking phase of that upward move there. So it's 1 leg, pullback, 2 up, and then we get a reversal down. All right, so maybe you're already short, or are you looking up here for another opportunity? Or you might be more bullish. If you're more bullish, then quite clear at the moment, support's coming in this kind of area here. So you can be looking in this zone here for the opportunity to buy for the breakout above there if you're more bullish. Dollar CAD took a while, but this range here, we pull back to the 62% level to support. That happened on the job figure day. And I would expect now we're moving back up to retest 137.65. So if it comes back down to 136.47, that would be a great area to look. In fact, to this area too. Now the market may just go up and doesn't want to pull back, but a great pullback area, if it does offer a pullback, would be in here. 136.47 to 31 may not offer that. Just want to draw a fib across this range here. Now, if we trade above that high, that range no longer exists, but this may do something like, depends on what the market wants to do, may come up here to come into this area before moving up this way. So I would watch that 79% level at 36.27 and this support area here if you want to get long to trade up to resistance up there after getting support at 62% level and the day support area on Friday. All right, may not pull back into that area. That could have been the pullback. Didn't quite get to the 62 and maybe it's already on its way up. Missed the boat in the short term. Dollar franc. Just get rid of my lines. Now, on the weekly, trend is up, but nasty week last week, happening at the weekly monthly resistance area. So that's the monthly area, that's the weekly area, and we've been in that area for a while, and a massive reversal last week. Are we trading down? I mean, it's difficult because the monthly chart is potentially down here, and we could be seeing all right, that sort of reversal, or we're going to break above the top. So if pairs to the US dollar move down, then it's unlikely this is going to move down. If pairs to the US dollar move up, then there's a high chance this is going to move down. So monitor what other pairs are doing. Don't trade this in isolation. This is at support at the moment on the day chart. Whilst we have a reversal candle on the weekly, this is quite clearly at day support. All right, this is where you should have been looking for a buy if you wanted to see if we could come back up and challenge. Now, if you're bearish from that reversal last week, monitor that range. 62% level overlaps with the kind of left shoulder area here. Head. All right, so there's maybe going to be, you know, depending on what price wants to do, does it come up to here and hold? If it starts to hold here, then this is the sell area for a further move down this week. Okay. Coming up from a good area of support, so I would have much prefer, you know, trading this kind of pattern, I would much prefer to have seen, first of all, that price action came down and took out all these lows before coming up, which it hasn't done. So I'm a little less to the sell side on that pair at the moment because of that. But if it comes up and clearly fails here, you know, you clearly see it reject up there, then I don't think that really matters. But it's just worth noting where it's coming from. There's a lot of support there. It didn't erode, didn't take out a whole bunch of stops. I wasn't able to get through. So that means there was lots of orders there holding it up. So But depending on what side of the market you're on, if you're on the sell side, this is the area to watch up here at 91.47 area. Okay. Buy side, like at the moment, we may just hold at resistance here, want to chop around, we might just come up. Come back into this area. So that area is around about the 90, 100 area. If that once more holds, then that's the buy area, to try to trade up and through. All right, let's get into dollar yen. All right, so we all know we had a massive reversal last week. Didn't actually change any structure. Actually pulled back to where I told you it was going to pull back last week. 152 area. Came back to the 22, 23 highs. So it actually came back to very good, strong support. Got fractionally short of the long-term high over here from 1988. Okay. So we respected a major high. It's come back down and respected two major highs that we broke above. Those being 151.94 and 151.90. All right, so as I go through these time frames, this trends on the day is probably down, but the monthly, weekly is still up. Came back to the area where we were sideways. So we're sideways, broke above. This is worth noting for future reference, price action kind of formation. This happens all the time. Sideways, from consolidation, we get a strong trend. There's a strong trend. That consolidation became support. This could well be coming all the way back up there at the moment. Now, of course, maybe it isn't. We don't know. Is it still bullish? Is any more intervention going to come if we start moving back up to range? Or have we just had that kind of massive correction, cleared out all the weak longs? People have had a bit of shorting, got excited, taken profits. And so the first hurdle is this 154.78 level at the moment. Same ranges to watch. Excuse me. There's actually more. There's a range here at the moment we're in. We're at the 62 level. So if we start to not want to move above 154.78, we could most definitely stop there this week. But there's, an imbalance in here. I'd much prefer to see a higher move up, because the higher it moves up, the higher chance that an intervention is coming at some point, because we're getting back up into the high points. All right, so less likely to see an intervention here. If we take this last intervention high out, then there's more chance that if we come up to here, that we're going to get some form of intervention. So looking at this area, 158.38 and that high point, that will be a good area to watch at some point over the next week for a reversal back down, because we had a massive sell-off from there previous week. All right, so I'm just going to wait to see if we start to top out somewhere at the moment on any of these yen pairs. What I'd like to see is that they're all start to top out at the same point at a good, at a good level. So structure in the 4-hour chart, this is an uptrend at the moment. So this could just keep grounding its 4-hour uptrend and keep moving up, and actually come up to, test 160.33 over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So depending on what side you're on, you could be actually looking on the 4-hour chart. So we've moved up. We may just get, a 62-79% pullback within that range, and then, come up and keep doing that kind of formation. And we never see the opportunity to sell. And, don't forget where the higher time frame trends are. They remain up. No interest rates have cut. So from a carry trade, nothing's really changed other than 2 massive interventions. Okay. All right, I'll just finish on gold. Now the weekly trend is up, but it's just correcting back this massive move. There's areas of support to watch. This area here, the 21.95, 21.90 for a move down potentially, maybe. Got a lot to move to get down to there though. But that's just correcting this upward move in some form or fashion. The daily trend is down. It's back once more, hitting that resistance there that I discussed over the last couple of weeks. Today and yesterday, it's flying at 62% retracement of this day chart downward range at old support. So that is most definitely the level to watch, 23.24 to be resistance. It could well come back up again today. Quite clearly, we're failing there, struggling there. So that's the area to watch for a sell to move downwards. Okay. That area has been proved. That was, broke below resistance, fractionally short, tried to move above and it can't. All right. So Azu, you're saying you're gold, you're bullish. Well, sure, it can go higher. The weekly trend is up for sure, but it doesn't like 23.24. So I'd need to see a good close above 23.24 because at the moment it can't. That's turn bullish. It needs to close above 23.24. All right. Now it may do by the end of the day. But look at the day chart structure. It's down, isn't it? So the most immediate trend is down. The higher time frame trends are up. So this most immediate trend is trending down, correcting those big moves up at the moment. All right. So, of course, we could have bottomed out there on Friday. And it's just waiting for something to break itself above 23.24. All right. Any final questions? So all these yen pairs at the moment, it's not easy because are we going to see more downward moves? What's that euro yen doing? I'm not going to be happy if the euro yen's up here by the end of the week. But in any event, I made a nice little profit from the bottom of support down here on Friday. Look like they're still moving up. Aussie dollar is not wanting to get above 66 at the moment. Bit sidewaysy, euro dollar. There's not much news coming out. US news doesn't come out this week till, when was it? Thursday. So there's not a lot to drive. Pound is starting to hold below 25.39. Not so sure myself. I'd be still looking up there at the 25.61 area for a rally. All right, so we might find it a little bit slow going as there's not that much news this week until we maybe get to the UK interest rate decision. It is worth, I didn't talk about this, but we failed up at the 20. Where did we fail last week? Just above 126 last week. 79% level, 126.20. So we can definitely get back up to that sell zone this week when we have the interest rate decision. So just because price has already started moving down, if you're not seeing anything that's really nice setting up, just wait. We could trade above last week's high just and fail. This would be definitely an area to watch in the week. So just above 126. That's actually more like 126.20 to 126.30 up there. Depending on what the interest rate decision does, if you get a volatility move up, watch last week's high, because it couldn't hold up here on Friday. Didn't spend too much time up there at all. So that's at the 79% area of last month's high to low. So we could revisit that. And that could be a great area to get short in line with the higher time frame trends. Just because it's 100 pips away from there at the moment. And it's like on the New Zealand dollar, I said last week, watch up here last week. When I was talking about that, we were down here. Thinking that I was thinking, it looks a great area, but can we get there? And it took all week. Now, if you got short up there, doesn't look like it wants to get back up there now, so you've missed the boat. There's always great levels and maximum optimum time to, transact. And sometimes you don't get a revisit. Sometimes you do. I mean, we might revisit that 79% level as well this week, or we may not. Maybe you already got short. All right, I'll leave you with those levels. It's going to be a bit of a patience game this week. If you want to join me tomorrow for tomorrow's webinar, bringing it all together, just head over to the webinar page and register your interest. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, thanks everybody.